indeed to Landon Stadium ahead of match of the round of the League One women's competition. It is round 14, match of the round.
want to watch a little bit. Yeah, I've got my Thanks, people.
Kenny's on the bench for this show.
So, what, you got hit in the leg or something?
Well, I was thinking it was she died and the chest
I thought it was a hit.
head.
The other player went down and his legs forward, but he
Well, after a wet, wild and windy week, the clouds have finally parted. The rain's receded, and just in time too. The final day of autumn brings us match of the round here in round 14. It's a League One women's competition. Blacktown City playing host to the Southern District Raiders. Pete Pryor with you this evening. Absolute pleasure to have your company, as it always is, wherever it is in the world you may be tuning in from. Well, Blacktown City coming into this one off the back of an impressive 4-1 victory on the Central Coast last weekend. An unchanged starting 11 for the hosts this evening. They line up as follows. In goal, number 1, Amy Harkin. Number 4, Nicola Chioka. Number 5 and captain, Molly Reckless. The 6 is Katia Badano. 8 is Nissa Castillo. 9, Layla Hamdan. 11, Ray DeMello. 12, Jamie Clark. 13, Annalise Lobos. 18 is Khalees Jarvis. And 19, Isabella Roderick. For the travelling Southern District Raiders, the high-flying Raiders, of course, looking to mount a raid here at Landon Stadium themselves. Just the one change, with Casaros out injured. In comes Sophia Furia. The full 11 as follows. In goals, number 1, Natasha Pentecost. The 6, Jess Neville. 7, Abigail Bogue. 8, Lane Knight. 9, Aoife Horgan. 10, Tayana Almeida. We'll just pause here. Moment's silence, impeccably observed by both sides, Blacktown City and Southern District Raiders. The rest of that Raiders lineup, of course, as we said, the number 10, Tayana Almeida, the 13, Sophia Faria, 22, Erin Phelan, 23, Marky Robinson, 33, Alana Topolidis, and 39, Shayla Malouf. Well, the Raiders also coming into this one off the back of a 4-1 victory themselves. At home last week against fellow promotion candidates, the Newcastle Jets. They come into this contest 7 matches unbeaten, looking to make it 8 and potentially create a bit of separation between them and the chasing pack in that promotion bid. Marconi, one of those candidates for promotion, playing out a 1-1 draw last night. Can the Raiders capitalise here tonight? 90 minutes of action ahead to find out. Here in round 14, as we said, it is match of the round. And it is an absolute pleasure to have your company on the Football New South Wales YouTube channels. When we do get underway here, it will be the Southern District Raiders kicking from right to left on your screens. The whistle blows and away we go here for match of the round in round 14 at London Stadium. Blacktown's young squad coming into this one off the back of, as we said, that 4-1 victory on the Central Coast. The Mariners themselves have struggled throughout this season. Blacktown, though, have retained a strong core from last year. Also making some impressive additions to their squad in the window. Just hasn't quite clicked for them so far this year, however. Although they did get the job done in the reverse fixture, and they're looking to go ahead early here. Flag is up, though, to halt any further sort of inroads. Looked like there were two Blacktown players, in fact, in an offside position. Fairly easy one for the Lions person to get their eye in early here. It's Bogue. Turns it around the corner looking for Almeida, who's been so impressive this season. 15 goals, a very healthy return from her 12 starts. Scored last week in that 4-1 victory against Newcastle Jets, of course, and she's on the ball again here. Good-looking slide rule ball that is from Almeida to find Bogue. He pulls it back towards the top of the 6-yard box. It is turned behind by Reckless at the expense of a corner. First corner of the evening, some 2 minutes in here. Nearly everyone defending this one for Blacktown City. It's curled in right on top of the goalkeeper, who doesn't quite claim. Did enough to turn it behind there, Amy Harkin. Got one paw to it. That was enough. But we will go across to the other side for another Raiders corner as they look to mount another raid on Blacktown's goal here. Will be the out-swinging delivery towards the penalty spots. Evades nearly everyone before it is cleared. Tracked back to great effect there by Aoife Horgan, but she's turned it over cheaply centrally. No flag here. It's comfortable enough for Pentecost to assess the danger well. Prodded through the central area there. Pass perhaps intended for Sophia Faria. Not close enough to it, though. Blacktown have some space on this near side if they can angle the pass correctly. It's too narrow, though. It's Katia Badano who is looking to make some inroads on this near touchline. Never arrived, and here's Bogue for the Raiders. Spinning, twisting, turning, unable to evade the challenge of Jarvis. Slides one into the channel. Should be comfortable enough for Knight, and is. Pentecost has a bit of a puzzle to figure out there. And forced to just clip it into touch on this near touchline. Jarvis to work the levers and hoist it back into play. Prodded back into touch again by Lane Knight. Trying to work their combinations in tight areas here. Flag is up again. Well, that's a couple of offsides early here from Blacktown City, but a signal of intent that they're certainly not going to give their opponents an inch here. As we said, they were victorious in the reverse fixture. It is a fixture where Southern District Raiders do really hold the ascendancy, though. It's Badano just runs into traffic. Here's Castillo. Floated in towards the edge of the area. A couple lurking. No one able to make any real sort of meaningful contact with it. As it's clipped out another offside there. Is that Isabella Rodriguez? It is indeed. Sporting the gloves on a brisk evening here at London Stadium. We did say it's the final day of autumn, but a real winter's chill in the air. This is well worked indeed from the Raiders, and now Abigail Bogue looking to create some havoc. It's a good challenge though, to take it off the toe of Bogue before she could really inflict any sort of damage. The Raiders just so good at working those combinations and pushing and pulling and pushing and probing. Working out of tight areas and into space as it's hoisted back in by Topolidis. Cute little back heel from Almeida. What a strike that is! Almeida, the architect. Their usual goal scorer, turning provider. And Sofia Faria into the starting 11 and straight onto the score sheet. The deadlock broken. Inside 7 minutes here at London Stadium. And the Raiders, just like that, hit the front. Bogue. Oh, they're looking to go bang, bang as Almeida bears down on goal. When she's in that sort of position, you expect to see the net bulge. Couldn't quite direct it goalwards on that occasion. What a pass it was from Abigail Bogue, though. That's how quickly these Raiders can hurt you. Bogue again stealing in smartly. Couldn't retain it, though. It's good feet from Badano. Hoisted clear in the direction of Rodriguez. Just couldn't quite bring it under her spell. Raiders throw in on this near touch line. Topolidis hoists it back in. That's Horgan. That's Rodriguez. Badano. They can't keep their foot on the ball here, though, Blacktown, and this will go into the channel again for the goal scorer, Sofia Faria. First time cross is a very good one indeed. Oh, it's brilliant. It's Marky Robinson. Faria, the architect this time, goal scorer, turning provider. Marky Robinson has her 8th goal of the season. She just loves scoring against Blacktown City, of course, scored on her debut for the Raiders first grade against Blacktown in the previous fixture, and she's got another one here today. Another one who's been in such great touch lately, had a brace last week as well. Well, it's all one-way traffic here at London Stadium at the moment. Everything these Raiders touch seems to be turning to gold. Here's Bogue. Good first touch to pull us out of the sky. Great feet to dance inside of a couple of challenges as well. And now we'll look to just open up the pitch a bit here. Options overlapping on the far side. They'll look to go centrally instead. No avenues afforded through. Now Roderique will give chase to this one. All in vain though. Pentecost had a long time to assess the danger and was first to it. Here's Bogue. Weaving again. Into traffic though. It's a good challenge from Roderique. He'll get the return pass as well. Assessing the options in front. One of whom is offside. Well, we did mention, of course, the Raiders' ascendancy in the previous meetings between these sides. As we said, although Blacktown did win in the reverse fixture, the Raiders have won 4 of the last 5 and inside 10 minutes here. Going 2 goals to the good. Looking good value to make it 5 from the last 6. If history tells us anything about this fixture as well, it's that we can certainly expect goals. 4.8 goals per game on average between these two sides in their last 5 encounters. Just left a little bit short of Horgan there and couldn't quite get her foot on the ball. And Blacktown looking for a right of reply. Well, the flag is up again for the umpteenth time inside the first 12 minutes here against Blacktown City. Credit must go as well to the unity of that Raiders back 4, although they may have played their way into trouble. As Topolidis has given it away cheaply on this near touch line. Does well to recover at the expense of a corner though. Blacktown, who were shell shocked by a quick fire double, look to recover and try and work their way back into this one potentially. Really flat, driven sort of delivery towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Nodded goalwards. And Almeida will complete the clearance. That's a wonderful touch again from Bogue, who's been involved so heavily in the early proceedings here. Now it's Faria. First touch took her a little wider than she may have originally hoped. And then looked to invert and drive inside, but met by a ferocious challenge there. Looked to be Ray DeMello. Leaving nothing to chance with the challenge. Nice across to hoist it back into the area towards Almeida, whose first touch is great. Her second touch is nearly even better. It was a good save, in fact, from Amy Harkin. A snapshot on the spin, on the swivel from Almeida. Earns her side another corner. Well, if you are just joining us on the Football New South Wales YouTube channels, absolute pleasure to have your company here in round 14, match of the round. It's the Raiders who lead by 2 goals to 0 as the corner is swung out. No real direction on the efforts there. Goals, as we said, to Sophia Faria and Marky Robinson, with Faria turning provider for the second. sees the Raiders on course to maintain their spots at the summit of the table. Blacktown again searching for a right of reply. Roderique. It's a good ball into the channel, but the cross doesn't meet the quality of the initial channel pass. Castillo it was. Or perhaps Badano. In any case, the end result is the same. As the Raiders look to play their way out from the back from the resultant goal kick, but just playing their way straight into touch. Possession, though, quite literally thrown away there by Blacktown City. Well, the Raiders, again, have played their way into trouble as Roderique will stand one up towards that back stick, but floating harmlessly over the crossbar in the end. Almeida had dropped a bit deeper in there between the lines to try and get on the ball, but unable to make any real sort of meaningful contact with it as Blacktown look to test the Raiders' defence, and they stand up and meet that test with aplomb. Almeida now, oh, that's a wonderful pass for Bogue, who's got green grass ahead to move into. Bogue shifts it on for Ria, who will stand it up towards the penalty spot. It's all too far behind Abigail Bogan, easily dealt with. Just as it looked as if the Raiders were going to make it 3. Move just breaking down at a crucial juncture. Here's Roderique on halfway. Couldn't bring it under her spell though. Bogue. Still Bogue. Still Abigail Bogue. Ball seemingly stuck like glue to her boot there. Abigail Bogue weaving around challenge after challenge. Now Faria just recycle. Hoisted in towards goal again. It's a real tester for Harkin. Perhaps bossing the goalkeeper off her line there a little bit, but Harkin very much equal to the test and sends the ball back over halfway towards Roderique. Pass left short from Roderique though, and Almeida. Bogue. It's been outstanding so far in the opening exchanges here. Again, weaving inside of the challenge from Badano. What a ball that is from Bogue. Harkin should get there and does. Had to be alert to it there, the goalkeeper. Blacktown looked to transition rapidly here. The flag is up again. As we said, the Raiders came into this one top of the pops. Level on points with Marconi following Marconi's 1-1 draw last night. There's a chance to create a bit of separation. A win here for the Raiders would see them 3 points clear atop the table at the end of round 14. So they look to go one better, of course. Last year's beaten grand finalists. Falling to Hills United. very good value for their lead here. As Phelan can't retain possession. Of course, we saw such an outstanding effort from the Southern District Raiders League One men's side last season. Now, of course, themselves in the state's top flight. Pentecost just looks to calm things down a little bit, slow down the tempo somewhat. Ball out centrally, triggering the half press. Southern District Raiders, well, I was going to say able to play through the press, but turns out not so much. A side that loves to be confident and comfortable in possession, but it's Blacktown now trying to hoist one into the area. They'll get a second go at it. Almeida emerges with it. Uncharacteristic loose pass though from Tayana Almeida. Blacktown will have another chance to try and build something out from halfway here. Well, not like that, they won't. Here's Clark. Tries to ride the challenge of Almeida. Does so. No options available going forward, though, and all the way back to her goalkeeper in Harkin. We'll send it long. It was Knight initially rising to meet it before Jess Neville. Peep on the whistle there. First foul of the evening. As we tick over the halfway mark of the first half here at Landon Stadium. Southern District Raiders leading by 2-0. Neville resumes hostilities. Well, Roderique might just capitalise and pounce on the loose pass here. Isabella Roderique has some support as well. Looks for the return pass. It's all too far ahead of Blacktown's 19 there in Roderique. They'll get another chance to advance forward here, only momentarily. Possession changing hands or changing feet every time you blink. A little bit scrappy in the middle of the park. Knight will just look to stretch the pitch and try and calm things down a little bit here. Well, perhaps not. It's Robinson on that far touchline who was looking to clip one over her shoulder and advance. Almeida thought about chasing that one down, but Harkin quickly out to sweep out the danger. Here's Topolitas. Bogue. Erin Phelan. We'll just shift it wide. Raiders flooding forward in numbers. Bit of a tangle there involving Marky Robinson. The whistle goes in favour of the Raiders. Chance to stand one up into the area again here. Clipped in towards a penalty spot. Harkin came but didn't claim. Met by a Blacktown City defender's head. Bogue with a couple of step overs and a sharp turn, and then another sharp turn for good measure. Cross was blocked off though, denying the supply at the source, and Blacktown looked to go straight up the other end with Roderique. Pulled into the area and turned behind by Lane Knight. It had to be as well. Well, one may fancy that could be the avenue where Blacktown see some success today. If they can hit the Raiders on the break, a team, as we said, that loves to get numbers forward. If they can utilise the pace of someone like Roderique, as the corner is floated in. Pentecost came but didn't claim. Hoisted clear from the back post, and now Bogue. 2-on-1 if they're quick enough here. Blacktown recover reasonably quickly. Faria looked to give chase to that one, but play is halted by the referee's whistle after the tussle there with Abigail Bogue. Topolitis. Good delivery it is for Roderique. It's a tough one to control. Very awkward sort of height. And so it proved. Just ricocheting off the knee there of Roderique and straight into the arms of the very grateful Pentecost. Both benches appealing for the throw in there. It's only ever really going to go one way. That is in favour of Blacktown. It's Roderique again. Weaving and twisting and turning. That's staunch defending indeed from the Raiders to win it back. And they'll look to play their way out, or will they? Bogue can't retain it. Now Hamdan giving chase. Hamdan towards the back stick. Kept in play. But comfortable enough for Pentecost, who will launch one out to the feet of Almeida. Not shirking the physical contest there, Erin Phelan and Nissa Castillo. End result, just a throw in. Bit of a talking to for Castillo as well from the referee. Just to calm things down, I don't mind that. Topolitis, Bogue. Wonderful ball into the channel again from Bogue. Well defended, as Aoife Horgan was giving chase. Hasn't quite hit her stride so far in this one. Aoife Horgan, 5 goals to her name for the season from her 11 starts for the Irish Youth International. Still plenty of time to go here at London Stadium, of course, as we tick over the half-hour mark. 2 early goals from the travelling Raiders, leaving them in very good stead, in good shape. I do say, of course, 2-0, the most dangerous scoreline in football. As this is hoisted back in by Knight. Almeida will track it back down and shift inside. Now Phelan with a sighter. Pops out kindly. Bogue. There's a handball. Rightly spotted by the referee. As the ball just bounced up and struck the arm of Abigail Bogue. Few would begrudge her a goal for her early performances so far in this one. Here she is again, Bogue, looking to open up the pitch once more. Malouf helps it forwards. That's Robinson, who will concede the foul. Referee just waited for a moment to assess whether there would be any advantage for the Raiders following the foul. There was none, so we will come back for the free kick. It's Robinson, who was brought down quite some time after the ball had already gone. Raiders again will launch it forward, repelled from the edge of the box. It's going to come straight back at them though, I fancy. Bogue. Topolitis. That's outstanding one-on-one defending from Bedano. Here's Bogue. Swept into the area and nodded clear. Danger not quite dealt with just yet. Almeida. Phelan. Tries to just bustle her way through centrally. Brute force. Blacktown able to deal with it. Well, plenty of action across the League One women's competition today, of course. Sunday the 31st of May. Newcastle Jets in action. Playing host to St George FC up at Lake Macquarie. Bankstown City hosting Nepean. Later this evening, Inter Lions hosting Blacktown Spartans. It'll be very interesting indeed to see what the shake-up and the make-up of the league table is after this round. Through the halfway point of the season, of course. Still so tight in the race for promotion, in the race for finals as well. The Jets have created themselves a bit of a buffer in that 4th spot though. Currently 5 points clear of the chasing pack. Sutherland currently in 5th. But it's the Raiders flying highest at the moment. And certainly flying highest here so far at London Stadium. Wonderful turn from Faria. Just a heavy touch though as she looked to drive towards the byline. So the attack will come to North. This Blacktown City defence have had to withstand wave after wave of Raiders attacks. Driven out towards halfway. Roderique couldn't quite pull it in. Neville will send it forward looking for Almeida. Doesn't quite reach her though. Roderique again giving chase. Has found a little pocket of space there as she drifted between the centre half and the right back. Pulled in towards the penalty spot. The strike will come from a long way out. Pentecost happy to watch that one wide. It was Raya de Mello with the long distance effort. Didn't have the guidance though. Raiders sticking with their usual modus operandi of playing out from the back. Aoife Horgan looks to spray one wide. It's Roderique now though. First pass is blocked off by Neville. Roderique will get a second bite at it here. Might just go herself here. Roderique! Oh, it's a good save, you know. Nearly catching Pentecost out at her near post. Strong enough paw to it from Tash Pentecost. Turns it behind for a Blacktown corner. So they look to try and build into this game a bit. It's a really snappy strike that from Roderique. Corner taken quickly. Hoisted in, but three Blacktown City players realising they were well and truly offside. They don't dare draw the eye of the Lions person on this near touch line again. Topolidis. There's Bogue ahead. Tries to turn it around the corner to find Bogue. Blocked off though. Bedono. Rising there was Jarvis. Header goes backwards though, and Almeida pounces. Now Faria is offside. Looks tight, but no real complaints from the Raiders contingent. It was those two who combined for the game's opener, of course. Almeida, the architect. Faria, the goal scorer. Faria unable to latch onto it ahead of Reckless. Nothing reckless about that challenge. Maybe the pass, though, not the best. Knight forward for Bogue. Stepping in there was De Mello. The Raiders, again, looking to get forward on that far touchline. Morgan turns it around the corner. Knight. Topolidis. Just left it a bit short of Bogue, and Jarvis will step in. Now it's Hamden. Bears down on goal. Hamden, contact in the back is there. Penalty. And a clear opportunity here for Blacktown City to halve the deficit. The referee has a bit of a decision to make as to whether to judge that as a footballing challenge or not. It was Abigail Bogue who has been scintillating up until that point, going through the back of Layla Hamden, who's remained down here as well. Some concern for the well-being of Layla Hamden. Former MacArthur Bull, of course, Layla Hamden. Had some time at Upper Leichhardt as well. 5 goals for this season, including the opener after just 3 minutes against the Mariners last weekend. She's still on the turf here, Layla Hamden. This would be a blow for Blacktown City. Well, she's back up and about, albeit gingerly. The referee has chosen to keep his cards in his pocket on this occasion, from the looks of it, which means that as Layla Hamden has received treatment, she will have to leave the field of play and will not be the one to take the penalty. It looks like Rhea DeMello is the one who has positioned herself. It's saved by Pentecost. Read it, went the right way, 2 strong hands to it. And Blacktown City denied from the spot. Well, the strike had a good amount of power behind it, take nothing away from that. But Pentecost, a very good save, not for the first time this evening. Here's Horgan. Just trot on the ball there. Well, one for the stats, perhaps you can count it as a completed pass, as Phelan was able to latch onto it. Well, for Blacktown City, when it's not your night, it's not your night, and certainly having a tough evening at the office here. They have seemingly settled after the chaotic opening 11 or 12 minutes. But being denied from the spot just a moment or so ago. So cruel to the hosts, which would have been flying high morale-wise anyway after that 4-1 victory at the hands, or up on the Central Coast, I should say, just last week. But these Raiders just too strong. Again, it was Horgan to help it on. Swept wide. 3 arriving in the middle, one of whom is Almeida, another of whom is Bogue! What a strike that is from Abigail Bogue, goal number 8 of the season. And just moments after conceding a penalty at the other end, Abigail Bogue goes straight up the other end and adds a third for the Raiders. Absolutely nothing Amy Harkin could do about that one. Such was the purity of the strike from Abigail Bogue. Right on the stroke of half-time. It is the Southern District Raiders 3, Blacktown City 0. Outstanding technique as well from Bogue. The ball was bouncing, it was just behind her. able to swivel and keep the strike down as well. And perhaps a goal that her performance so far in this one richly deserves. Robinson weaving. Well, pleased for a free kick there from the Raiders contingent. Referee says nothing doing. I fancy Hamden knew she was offside there. Quick look over at the Lions person who had his flag half raised in preparation. Here's Almeida for the Raiders. We are through the regulation 45 minutes. We'll see probably a couple of minutes of stoppage time here. So we had a bit of a delay before the penalty was taken a few moments ago, with Layla Hamden down receiving some treatment. Is Jess Neville. Closed down by Roderique, able to clear her lines as far as halfway. Quick peep on the whistle, and that will be that for the first stanza here at Landon Stadium. A commanding opening 45 minutes from the travelling Southern District Raiders as they look to extend their advantage atop the League One women's table. The halftime scoreline: Blacktown City 0, Southern District Raiders 3. We're off for a short break here at London Stadium, but don't go anywhere. Join us for the second half of this match of the round in about 15 or so minutes' time. A very warm welcome indeed back to a very brisk Landon Stadium. The temperature certainly dropping. The crowd getting rugged up. But 45 minutes of action ahead to keep us warm here in Match of the Round in round 14. It is the Southern District Raiders currently leading this one by 3-0. An utterly dominating and domineering performance. Goals to Sophia Furia, Marky Robinson and Abigail Bogue with the pick of the bunch. Sees them in a commanding position. Blacktown with 45 minutes ahead of them to try and change that and flip the script on this one. A peep of the whistle from referee Serjan Patak. And away we go for the second stanza. Blacktown resuming hostilities. It doesn't look like any changes at the break for either side. Both benches just keeping their reserves in reserve. Blacktown looking to inflict some damage early on here. DeMello clips forward into the channel. Pentecost has had to come a fair way out to claim it. And does so at the very last available opportunity. Danger seemingly brewing and looming large. Brave goalkeeping from Pentecost. Here's Robinson. Scored the game's second. Fouled for her troubles on this near touchline right in front of our broadcast position here. Will be Malouf to get us back underway. Almeida just off screen had made a darting run towards this near touchline. Malouf tries to find her. It's repelled initially. The ball breaks here for Hamden. Now Roderique giving chase again. Pentecost has had to come a long way to claim it. The flag is up. Once again. Once more into the breach, dear friends. Only opening 90 seconds or so here. Picking up where the first half started and left off. Blacktown with an early offside. Almeida. Final touch is off Tayana Almeida and will be a City throw on the far touchline. Bogue trying to help it on there for Almeida. As we said, Abigail Bogue was so heavily involved, particularly in the first half of the first half. Scored absolutely scintillating goal indeed on the half volley on the turn. Struck pure and true and was right on the stroke of half time as well. Here's DeMello for Blacktown City. Looking for the first time cross straight into the legs of Aoife Horgan. She'll get a second go at it here, DeMello. Hoisted high and floated through the air for an age. Lobos who couldn't quite bring it out of the evening sky. Raiders look to transition rapidly, but no avenues afforded to them. Hamden offside. Neville gets us back underway. Malouf. Looking to work their combinations here again, the Raiders. Horgan helps it on to Phelan. Tried to sweep it out towards Bogue on the far touchline. Breaks down in the middle of the park though. Again, it's that channel ball looking for Hamden. Comfortable for Pentecost, who invites the press from Roderick before stooping to pick up the ball and launch it back over halfway. That's a wonderful touch from Almeida to create a couple of yards of separation, and an even better pass it looks like here for Bogue. Still going, Bogue! Oh, off the crossbar. She might get a second go at it here, Bogue. She does indeed, but that's regulation stuff for Amy Harkin. Oh, just like that, Abigail Bogue very nearly at the double. She's another one who doesn't mind scoring against Blacktown, of course, Abigail Bogue. Won tonight and had one last year in that 4-1 victory over Blacktown City back in round 11 of the 2025 competition. As we said, the Raiders that year falling at the final hurdle, defeated in the grand final at the hands of Hills United. Looking to go one better this season. Hoisted in towards the head of Almeida. Well, danger not dealt with. Robinson clips one over the top. Danger dealt with that time. Maloof hoists it back in. Robinson. Bit of an up and under that from Robinson towards Bogue. Supporting cast arriving. Well, they're forced to just go back to halfway and recycle there. It's Knight who plays it back forwards. Bogue again. Into the channel it goes, and there's numbers arriving in the middle. Furia was lurking on the penalty spot with real dangerous intent. Almeida was making some inroads from the top of the box as well. Just a throw in at the end of it. And after a bright opening, few minutes from the hosts in the second stanza, the game now seemingly all being played in Blacktown City's defensive half. Neville. Over the top it goes for Roderique. Giving chase and space to fashion the cross as well for Hamden. Oh! It came at an awfully difficult height for City's number 9. Layla Hampton unable to notch up her 6th goal of the season there. Wonderful ball in the first instance to unlock the space for Roderique. Excellent cross as well. Hampton did well to find the space, but couldn't guide it goalwards. So City go on in search of their first goal of the evening. Meanwhile, Raiders mounting another raid of their own through Almeida. Couple of step overs here, shifting one way and the other. Will just help it on. Numbers arriving centrally. Horgan was one of them. Never arrived though, plucked out by Harkin. Here's Horgan. Well, that's worked out in a roundabout sort of way for the Raiders. That is all too far ahead of Maloof. DeMello for Blacktown City, twisting and turning. Robinson coming back to join the party. Eventually the whistle goes in favour of Blacktown. Furia happy to slow down the play, much to the chagrin of Jarvis. Blacktown eventually able to restart proceedings here. Hamden unable to make any inroads, and Almeida will emerge with it. Roderique, though, for Blacktown. Has Almeida for company, and Almeida just too strong in the challenge. Only for a moment, though. Hamden. Great turn from Hamden! Flashing over the crossbar there. Pentecost was confident that she had her angles correct. It was a wonderful turn from Layla Hamden. Just rolled off the challenge there of Jess Neville. Unable to test the Raiders goalkeeper. It does feel like something perhaps brewing here, though, for Blacktown City as they try and find some way to get a foothold back into this contest. Well, they will have a corner for their troubles here, Blacktown. Just about everyone back defending this one for the Raiders as they look to maintain their clean sheet. Reckless has inserted herself into the 6-yard box. It's floated over the heads of all and sundry. And retrieved here by Robinson. We'll just launch it back over halfway. Horgan brings it out of the evening sky now. Aoife Horgan. Almeida. Nice little layoff there as well from Almeida to link up with Phelan. Horgan unable to advance any further though. Neville does well to skip around the attention of Roderique. Malouf. Into the channel it goes for Furia. Cross is blocked off the legs of Reckless and behind for a Raiders corner. It's well defended though from the Blacktown skipper Molly Reckless. Not diving in. Just cutting off the supply. At the expense of a corner though for the travelling Raiders. Will be Bogue to deliver. Swung out towards the head of Almeida, who rises highest. Can't quite guide it goalwards, though. Danger not quite dealt with. Bogue will get another chance to deliver here. Burns around the outside of one and pulls it towards the penalty spot. Neville, who'd stayed forward, couldn't make any meaningful sort of contact on it. Still they come here, the Raiders, through Malouf. Back with Knight. Just looking to reset now. Keep their foot on the ball here, the Raiders. On the whistle from centre referee there, Sir Jan Patzak. Perhaps sweet relief to Blacktown ears. Not for long, though. It's the Raiders again advancing in that sort of half space. Well, meanwhile, the Raiders, it looks like they are readying a couple of changes, a couple of players being sent to complete their final warm-ups. Meanwhile, the Raiders also looking to nearly play their way into trouble. We spoke about, of course, their modus operandi, love playing out from the back. Usually confidence and controlled in possession. As Blacktown City, of course, nearly playing their way into trouble though, trying to emulate the Raiders. Morgan looking to stretch the pitch here with Bogue. Support was arriving from Maloof, but Roderique not shirking her defensive duties. Lane Knight not shirking the physical contest herself. Whistle will go in favour of the Raiders number 8 there, Lane Knight. We see our first yellow card of the evening. Looks like it might have been Annalise Lobos. With a bit too much to say for the referee's liking. Back underway as Blacktown look to repel the latest threat on their goal. Not once, but twice. And now look to try and bring it out of their own half. Nodded down towards Roderique. Awkwardly bouncing sort of ball there. Not quite dealt with by Maloof, but Robinson will track back and sweep up. Maloof gets ahead to it ahead of DeMello. Furia, Almeida has 2 for company. Very close company indeed. A little reckless there from Molly Reckless. Perhaps a foul that she had to make though. She's also been booked for her troubles. 2 cards in quick succession for Blacktown City. Molly Reckless joining Lobos in the book. Perhaps a smart foul to concede really when Tiana Almeida looks to turn on halfway like that. Danger is always looming. Unable to prevent the corner, it seems. So the Raiders now with another opportunity from the set piece. As we said, 4.8 goals per game on average between these two sides over the last 5 encounters. No goals so far in the second stanza. Of course, it was 3-0 at half-time. The Raiders looking to add a 4th here from the corner. Almeida couldn't quite bring it under her spell. Bogue might get another opportunity to deliver. Does well to beat one challenge and get the return pass as well here, Abigail Bogue. Delivered towards the top of the box. Coolly dealt with and swept into touch. And we will see our first change of the evening here at Landon Stadium. Samir Al-Seblani, the Southern District Raiders coach. Just introducing one change here. Shayla Maloof withdrawn. Kenesha Patrick and Yao enters the action for the final 27 or so minutes here at Landon. Almeida. Raiders just trying to get it back under control in the centre of the park here. And they've done so to great effect. Furia, who's drifted wide now. Good looking delivery as well. It's Mandalay, in fact, who was the change just a moment ago. Nearly straight off the bench and onto the score sheet with her first touch. So a correction on that change. Number 14, Sarah Mandalay, enters the action and now looks to lead the line and lead the charge. No changes just yet for the hosts, Blacktown City, who so far through this second stanza have managed to weather the storm. That's a good turn from Raya De Mello. Just took one touch too many though, perhaps. It's a series of red shirts converged around her. Furia. Here's Furia again. Burning around the outside of her defender. Wicked teasing sort of delivery there as well. Met by the late run of Aoife Horgan. And just bounced a little awkwardly in front of the Irish Youth International. Roderique. Good challenge. That's from Jess Neville. The Raiders, as it was in the first half, the Lions' share of possession and opportunities and territory. And Blacktown now looking to make a dent on that. Hundren's got 2 to aim for in the middle, one of whom is Roderique. It's over the head of Roderique. Not a clear to Sophia Furia. Jarvis it was trying to effect the challenge on Furia. She was able to evade those attentions, but pops out kindly enough for Molly Reckless, and that's cool as you like really there from Amy Harkin. Perhaps a little too coolly done though. Not the direction or the guidance required on that pass out from the back. She was under some immense pressure from Sarah Mandalay. No goals to show so far in the second stanza through about 23 or so minutes. Past the halfway mark of the second half. No shortage of chances though, particularly for these Raiders. Saw Bogue rattling the woodwork with a rasping effort earlier. Oh, it's all getting a little bit heated and nasty out here. 2 yellow cards brandished by Serjan Patak. One for Sophia Furia, who gets a card to join her earlier goal. The other, we'll bring you confirmation on that as and when we can. I think it may have been Khalees Jarvis. There was a few in there and involved. Meanwhile, amidst all the chaos, we are going to have a Blacktown City change. Annalise Lobos, who was booked earlier as well. Perhaps preservation. One change apiece here at Landon Stadium. Looks like Naomi Carl, who's been introduced. Yes, it is indeed the number 34, and straight into the action immediately. Smart pass up from Carl. Look for the return, but blocked off by Neville Almeida. Able to link up with Horgan very nicely indeed. Bogue inverting. Looking for that raking crossfield switch of play. Cuts out though by DeMello. Who has toiled hard this evening, DeMello. She's brought Natasha Pentecost into action a couple of times. But has been heavily pinned back on this near touch line. The electricity of the likes of Marky Robinson and now Sophia Faria, who looks to deliver. Well blocked off. Just a goal kick at the end of it, so well defended indeed by Blacktown City. They've had no shortage of defensive actions to get through this evening. As we tick into the final 20 minutes here in round 14 for Match of the Rounds. Landon Stadium, the venue for the final Sunday of autumn. Will be the Raiders. Very much the happier of the two sets of players and fans so far this evening, as Mandalay has stolen a march on her defender here. Struck it well enough, but close enough to Amy Harkin. Long throw from the Raiders, looking to cause a bit more chaos and carnage, and might have done just that. Mandalay, oh, it's a wonderful looking ball, laid off and dragged wide. Sophia Faria, it was, with the goal at her mercy just about. In moments like that, you expect to see the net bulge. Aoife Horgan it was, with the unselfish layoff there for Faria, who just snatched at the chance a little bit. Unable to add her second of the evening. Blacktown City certainly getting away with one there, but Abigail Bogue looking to inflict some further damage. Bouncing off 1 and 2 and 3 challenges, eventually succumbing to the fourth. And Blacktown look to go straight up the other end. Numbers arriving in the middle, one of whom is Marky Robinson for the Raiders. Cool as you like. Rolls it out centrally. Ball breaking kindly there for Carl, who's rather unceremoniously just bundled off it. And a chance for Blacktown here to send some numbers forward. Time certainly running out for Blacktown City. Everyone behind the ball for the Raiders. It's a strike from distance, but it's not going to prove any sort of test for Pentecost there. Molly Reckless, I think it was. It was indeed the strike from all of about 35 yards, casting no shadow on the Raiders' goal there. Bogue. Clipped over the top in the direction of Almeida. Repelled initially. Bogue again though now. Robinson's gone on a foray forward. And a strike from distance as well. Harkin had a long time to see it. Able to just step across and claim the ball. Here's Roderico though. Couldn't evade the attention of Jess Neville. Neville gets there again. Into the channel it goes. Once again, numbers arriving here for the Raiders. Very good save initially from Harkin. The follow-up from Horgan is deflected behind. Another Raiders corner. More defensive duties for Blacktown to have to engage with here. Will be the in-swinging delivery. Wicked right boot there towards the head of Neville. Phelan, Neville. No one can get a real clean sort of strike on it, and the end result is just a goal kick. Now, the Raiders are going to their bench once more. Perhaps a double change in the offing this time. So Mucky Robinson, one of those withdrawn, scored the game's second goal and has got through a fair old chunk of work this evening. And Abigail Bogue also withdrawn. Abuk Nyor and Brittany Duggan on in their stead. Here's Amber Precious, who was introduced just a few minutes ago. Chioka helps it on. They look to switch the point of attack to the far touchline, but it's cut out by Patrick and Yao. It was the initial change made for the Raiders. Abuk Nyor unable to retain possession. Jess Neville slices her clearance somewhat, and it's a real puzzle for Pentecost to figure out. It's scrambled clear. Just about the last available opportunity anywhere will do. Brittany Duggan's first action was just to try and hack that anywhere. Blacktown are going to go to their bench again. Will be a double change for Blacktown. Meanwhile, it looks like the Raiders are just shifting things about on the pitch a little bit. Abuk Nyor is going to operate on this near flank. And Sophia Faria is going to operate on the far touchline now. It looks like Rhea De Mello may have been withdrawn. We'll bring you confirmation on those changes in just a moment. Almeida. Faria. Couple of yards of space to operate in here. Opts to use a supporting cast in Patrick and Yao, but she can't retain possession. So Brianna Tinney is one of the changes for Blacktown City, the number 29. As Carl looks to break through. Once again, denied by the linesperson's flag on the far touchline. Duggan it was, who was racing after it, trying to prod it forward towards Mandalay. Couldn't stick the pass though. Blacktown says he remain unscathed in this second half. Into the final 10 minutes here at Landon Stadium. Carl, who's tried to be as industrious as possible since her introduction midway through this second half. You're going to see another swap on the flanks, this time for Blacktown City, as Amber Precious is now going to operate on that far touchline and looks to make an immediate impact. Doesn't have the beating of Lane Knight though, too strong. Wonderful turn on the far touchline. Furia. Almeida was arriving for the cross from Mandalay, which was blocked off just about at the source. Almeida converged by a series of Blacktown City players, still able to dig the shot out, but doesn't have the direction required to cast any shadow on Amy Harkin's goal. Hasn't been able to find the back of the net today. Tayana Almeida. Still about 8 or so minutes left, plus any time to be added on for her to be able to change that, of course. The Raiders' top goal scorer so far this season with 15. She does have an assist to show for her efforts this evening. It's hoisted back in by Duggan. It's Horgan over the top. Muir. It's towards Almeida. It's chaos on the edge of the 6-yard box. And again, anywhere will do. Reckless taking control of the situation there. Keeping her head when others seem to be losing theirs. Muir. It's good use of the body initially from Mandalay. Excellent use of the body indeed. Phelan will help it on. Furia thought about the strike, instead shifts onto a left and will eventually pull the trigger. Amy Harkin, though, had her angles covered. Won't be beaten at that near post. Neville launches it forward towards Muir. There's support from Duggan. Layla Hampton will win the throw off the legs of Duggan. Wants her teammates to show a little bit more urgency here. Tinney giving chase. Naomi Carl. Hampton supporting. Well, I think Tinney realised she was offside. Carl isn't, though. She's going to keep Pentecost honest here. Fairly regulation stuff there from Tash Pentecost. Had a long time to see the ball coming into that sort of half space again. Launches it over halfway. It's not a bad release, you know, to find Muir. Horgan. Mandalay looks to roll the challenge, pulls it in towards Almeida! Straight at Harkin, good save nonetheless. The follow-up strike ending up behind. Well, that, you feel, was the moment for Almeida. Excellent work in the build-up from Sarah Mandalay to roll the challenge. The ball was pinpoint at the finish, straight at Amy Harkin. It was still a save that had to be made. Aoife Horgan again involved in the build-up. It's Carl. Can't keep possession though. Kenesha Patrick, and Yao does well to win the throw-in on the far touchline. Forward it goes, met by Jess Neville, who will repel it back over halfway. Nura was giving chase, Phelan now scrapping for it. Blacktown City just about to merge with it in the direction of Amber Precious, but all too wide there for City's number 7. The Raiders able to slowly make their way upfield by way of successive throw-ins. Something building here perhaps. It's Almeida. Feels like there's always something building when she's on the ball, but the latest effort repelled very quickly indeed, as Blacktown would be well counselled to do. And they've got some more defending to do here as well, done expertly. Jess Neville it will be to retrieve. The press from Hampden, again keeping Pentecost on us. City now looking to make inroads on the far touchline through Precious. The flag is up, indicating a free kick in favour of Blacktown City. Late contact perhaps after the ball in there from Precious. A chance here perhaps for Blacktown City to at least get their name on the scoreboard. You feel with 2 or so minutes remaining, anything now would be nothing more than a mere consolation. It's delivered, again driven flat and repelled by the first defender. Delivery has to be better than that. Raiders look to go immediately up the other end. Aoife Horgan now latching onto the pass from Almeida. Has Muir in support and uses her. Muir's touch though, just evading her at the crucial moment. The Raiders just displaying another facet of their gameplay, of course. Most of the match has been played in their attacking half. They've dominated possession, dominated chances and opportunities created, but that's on display there. A breakneck counter-attack, showing they can play in transition too if needs must. We've got news coming in from Lake Macquarie, where it's just finished in the League One women's competition between Newcastle and St George. St George running out winners by 3-1 in a result that will really send a shockwave through much of the league. They went 3 goals up, courtesy of a brace, or a hat-trick in fact, to Jordan Baker. Newcastle pulled one back late through Mackenzie Preston Poole, but that is a real dent in the title hopes for the Newcastle Jets, and a real boost for these SD Raiders, who, as it stands with about 20 or so minutes of regulation time remaining, will go 3 points clear. Almeida. Can they add an exclamation point? Not like that, they can't. And that will be that here at London Stadium. No time for added time. A commanding composed and confident performance from these Southern District Raiders, who put some breathing room between they and the chasing pack. They go 3 points clear atop the table in the Football New South Wales League One women's competition. The damage was done early. Sophia Furia set the tone for proceedings, scoring the opener. Marky Robinson added a second before Abigail Bogue, scoring with an absolutely sumptuous strike right at the end of the first half. No goals in the second half, but a professional, well-managed performance from these Raiders and a well-deserved 3 points on the road here. Well, that's a wrap from us here in Match of the Round for round 14 of the League One women's competition. On behalf of Football New South Wales and myself, Pete Pryor, absolute pleasure having your company. From me, it's bye for now.